Last week, a customer tossed a $180 battery that just needed a $5 fix. The parts store said it was dead. They lied. After 20 years watching drivers waste thousands on batteries that could last 15 years, I'm exposing the 15 techniques your mechanic never mentions, because they'd rather sell you a new battery every 3 years. Stick around. The last one costs nothing, takes 30 seconds, and it's why my work truck's original battery hit year 11. Let's kick things off. 15. The 80% depth of discharge rule. Never let your battery discharge below 80% of capacity if you can avoid it. Deep discharges cause severe sulfation that accumulates and eventually destroys capacity permanently. Starting your engine uses maybe 2 to 3% of battery capacity, which is fine. But leaving lights on overnight and fully discharging the battery causes damage that shortens its life significantly with each occurrence. One of my customers had a habit of leaving his interior lights on and draining his battery completely. He'd done this 5 times in 2 years. His battery was toast at 30 months. The repeated deep discharges destroyed the plates. If he'd caught those discharges earlier, the battery would have lasted years longer. Deep discharge damage analysis demonstrates that batteries discharged below 20% capacity experience permanent capacity loss of 5 to 10% per occurrence, with batteries subjected to 3 or more deep discharges, losing 30 to 40% of total capacity and failing to meet starting requirements even after recharging. If you accidentally discharge your battery, recharge it immediately. Don't let it sit discharged. The longer it stays in a deep discharge state, the more permanent damage occurs. Protect your battery from deep discharge, and it will reward you with decades of service. But what if you could actually peek inside your battery and know its health with pinpoint accuracy? That's what we're tackling next. 14. Monitor specific gravity in flooded batteries. For flooded batteries, a hydrometer measures specific gravity of the electrolyte in each cell, revealing the state of charge and whether cells are balanced. This detailed information shows battery health better than any voltage test. Fully charged cells read 1.265 specific gravity. Discharged cells read 1.120 or lower. If one cell reads significantly different than others, that cell is damaged and the battery is failing. The same customer I mentioned had a battery that wasn't holding charge well. Voltage looked okay, but hydrometer testing showed one cell at 1.180, while others were at 1.250. That weak cell was dragging down the entire battery. Knowing this meant we could replace the battery proactively rather than waiting for complete failure. Specific gravity testing analysis shows that cell imbalance exceeding 0.050 points indicates internal damage requiring replacement, while balanced cells within 0.030 points indicate healthy batteries, with specific gravity providing diagnostic information unavailable through voltage testing alone. Hydrometers cost $10 to $20. For flooded batteries, this is the most accurate health assessment available. Test quarterly and track results. The data reveals developing problems long before they cause failures. If this is already saving you money, hit that subscribe button now, because the next 14 techniques include the one that brings dead batteries back to life for under $100. Knowledge is power when it comes to battery management. But what if your battery is already showing signs of fatigue? Can you bring it back from the brink? We'll uncover a powerful technique used by commercial fleets to do just that. 13. Equalization, charging for flooded batteries. Equalization is a controlled overcharge process that balances charge across all cells and helps break down sulfation. This advanced technique requires a special charger and only works on flooded batteries. Never try it on AGM or gel batteries. During normal use, cells can become imbalanced where some are more charged than others. Equalization brings all cells to the same level, while also helping remove sulfation through the controlled higher voltage. A fleet manager showed me their equalization schedule for their commercial vehicle batteries. They equalize quarterly, and their batteries routinely hit 10 to 12 years in commercial service that would normally kill batteries in 4 to 5 years. Equalization charging studies demonstrate that quarterly equalization extends flooded battery life by 40 to 60% through prevention of cell imbalance and reduction of sulfation accumulation, with equalized batteries showing significantly more uniform cell voltages and capacity retention compared to batteries receiving only standard charging. This isn't for everyone. You need the right charger, and you need to know what you're doing. But for those serious about maximum battery life, equalization is a powerful tool in the toolkit. Commercial fleets have proven this works over decades of use. But what if you're not ready for advanced techniques? There's a simpler way to fight sulfation and give your battery a new lease on life, and it's surprisingly effective. 12. Desulfate with specialized chargers. Some advanced battery chargers include desulfation modes that use specific pulse frequencies to break down sulfation crystals that have formed on plates. This can recover batteries that are starting to show signs of sulfation damage. Desulfation doesn't fix everything. If the battery has heavy permanent damage, nothing helps. But for batteries showing early sulfation symptoms, these chargers can add years of life by removing crystal buildup before it becomes permanent. My work truck's battery started showing signs of weakness at year 7 with slightly slow cranking, voltage dropping to 12.3 after sitting. I ran it through desulfation mode on my smart charger for 24 hours. Capacity came back to almost new levels, and the battery lasted another 4 years. Desulfation effectiveness research shows that batteries treated at early sulfation stages recover 60 to 80% of lost capacity, while heavily sulfated batteries recover only 10 to 20%, with treatment most effective on batteries showing minor performance degradation rather than waiting until near complete failure. Smart chargers with desulfation capability cost $60 to $100, but can recover batteries and extend their lives significantly. For batteries showing early weakness, it's worth trying desulfation before replacement. Sometimes batteries just need help removing the garbage that accumulates over time. But how do you know if your battery is truly on its last legs or just playing coy? The next technique cuts through the guesswork. 11. Perform load testing annually after the 5th year. Load testing applies heavy electrical draw and measures whether voltage stays above 9.6 volts for 15 seconds. This reveals whether your battery can handle real-world starting stress. Voltage testing alone doesn't show this. A bad battery can show 12.6 volts, but fail instantly under load because internal damage destroyed its capacity. Load testing is the only test that actually matters for predicting impending failure. A customer's battery showed good voltage on simple testing, but failed load test completely. Internal plates were damaged from years of sulfation. Voltage looked fine, but it couldn't deliver the current needed for starting. Caught this before winter when it would have failed in 20-degree weather. Battery testing standards from the Battery Council International indicate that load testing is 97% accurate in predicting imminent battery failure, while voltage testing alone is only 54% accurate, with load testing providing the only reliable method for determining remaining capacity under real-world starting conditions. Most auto parts stores test batteries for free. It takes just 5 minutes. After year 5, test annually. If it fails load testing but shows good voltage, it's damaged internally and needs replacement before it strands you. Proactive replacement on your schedule beats reactive replacement when you're late for work on the coldest morning of the year. But what if your car demands more than a standard battery can offer? There's a superior technology that thrives under pressure. How many batteries have you replaced because they tested bad without ever getting a second opinion? Parts stores make money selling batteries, not telling you yours can be saved. 10. Use AGM batteries for demanding applications. AGM, absorbed glass mat batteries, cost more initially, but last significantly longer in demanding applications. Vehicles with start-stop systems, extensive electronics, or frequent short trips that stress conventional batteries. AGM batteries handle deep discharge cycles better, recharge faster, and tolerate heat better than conventional flooded batteries. For difficult applications, the premium is worth it for the extended lifespan. A customer with a luxury car loaded with electronics was replacing batteries every 2 years. Switched him to an AGM battery, and it lasted 7 years in the same vehicle with the same usage. The AGM handled the heavy electrical demands that conventional batteries couldn't sustain. Battery technology comparison studies show that AGM batteries in high-demand applications last 150 to 200% longer than conventional flooded batteries, with AGM batteries averaging 8 to 10 years in vehicles where conventional batteries last 3 to 5 years, justifying the 40 to 60% price premium through extended service life. Not every vehicle needs AGM. If yours has minimal electronics and you drive regularly, conventional batteries work fine. But for modern vehicles with extensive electrical systems, AGM is worth the investment for longevity. 9. Eliminate parasitic drains immediately. Parasitic drain is when something in your electrical system draws power with the car off beyond normal computer memory needs. Trunk lights staying on, glove box lights, aftermarket accessories wired wrong. These drain batteries continuously and kill them within months. Normal parasitic draw is 20 to 80 milliamps depending on your vehicle. Anything over 100 milliamps indicates a problem that's slowly murdering your battery every night it sits in your driveway. A customer's battery died every 3 months like clockwork. Tested parasitic draw and found 450 milliamps, way too high. Tracked it to an aftermarket stereo that never fully shut off. Fixed the wiring and his battery lasted 8 years. A parasitic drain research indicates that draws exceeding 100 milliamps will completely discharge a typical 50 amp-hour battery in 20 to 25 days, with repeated discharge cycles from parasitic drains causing permanent capacity loss and battery failure within 8 to 15 months, regardless of battery quality or maintenance. Testing requires a multimeter in series with your negative battery cable. If you're not comfortable with this, any mechanic can test in 15 minutes. Finding and fixing drains costs $50 to $200 but prevents buying batteries annually indefinitely. Drop a comment. Have you ever had a battery mysteriously die every few months? You probably had a parasitic drain the whole time and never knew it. Parasitic drains are silent battery assassins. Find them and eliminate them. But what if the problem isn't a drain, but a faulty power supply? Your alternator might be slowly killing your battery and you wouldn't even know it. 8. Test charging system voltage twice yearly. Your alternator should produce 13.5 to 14.5 volts when the engine is running. Below that range, your battery isn't charging properly. Above it, you're overcharging, which boils off electrolyte and damages plates. Either condition kills batteries prematurely, and most drivers have no idea their charging system is out of specification until the battery dies, and they blame the battery instead of the real problem. A customer complained about batteries dying every 18 months like clockwork after testing his charging system, which was 15.2 volts. That's way too high, by the way. His voltage regulator failed, overcharging and slowly cooking his batteries to death. We fixed the regulator for $140, and his next battery lasted 9 years. Charging system analysis shows that voltages outside optimal range reduce battery life proportionally to deviation. Undercharging by 0.5 volts reduces life by approximately 30%, while overcharging by 0.5 volts reduces life by 40 to 50% through electrolyte loss and plate warping from excessive gassing. Test twice yearly every spring and fall. With the engine running at 2000 RPM, measure voltage at battery terminals. Should read 13.5 to 14.5 5 volts. Below 13.5 indicates undercharging problems. Above 14.7 indicates overcharging that's destroying your battery. 5 minutes of testing prevents years of premature battery death. But even a perfectly charged battery can be destroyed by something as simple as a bumpy road. Are you shaking years off your battery's life? If you're starting to see why batteries die early, hit that subscribe button, because the final 7 techniques include the $5 fix that prevents the most common cause of battery death. 7. Secure it properly to prevent vibration damage. Loose batteries bounce around during driving, causing internal plates to crack and separators to fail. This physical damage shortens life regardless of how well you maintain charging and cleanliness. The battery hold down must be tight enough that the battery can't move at all. If it shifts when you push on it, it's too loose, and damage is occurring with every bump you hit. A customer's truck battery kept failing after 2 to 3 years. When I inspected it, the hold down was missing entirely. The battery was just sitting in the tray, bouncing around freely. Installed proper hold-down hardware, and his next battery lasted 7 years. Vibration damage analysis shows that improperly secured batteries experience internal plate damage at rates 300 to 400% higher than secured batteries, with loose batteries showing average lifespans of 2 to 3 years versus 6 to 10 years for properly secured batteries in identical operating conditions. Check your battery hold-down at every oil change. Tighten it if there's any movement. If the hold-down hardware is missing or broken, replace it immediately. This $5 to $15 part prevents $200 battery replacements. Your battery is an expensive component. Secure it properly. But what about the invisible enemy that's constantly attacking your battery, even when your car is off? It's a silent killer that cuts battery life in half. I can already hear some of you. My battery's been loose for years and it's fine. That's like saying, I've been smoking for years and I'm healthy. The damage is cumulative and irreversible. 6. Protect from extreme temperatures. Heat kills batteries faster than anything else. Every 15-degree Fahrenheit increase in average temperature cuts lifespan in half. Cold doesn't damage batteries like heat does, but it reduces available capacity and exposes weakness from previous heat damage. If you park in hot sun, use windshield reflectors to reduce interior temperatures. Park in shade when possible. In extreme heat climates, consider battery insulation wraps that moderate temperature swings. A customer in Arizona complained about replacing batteries every 2 years. His garage was closed but not insulated. Interior temps exceeded 120 degrees Fahrenheit regularly. I had him install a battery heat shield, and his next battery lasted 5 years instead of 2. Temperature exposure studies from Optima batteries show that batteries operated at average temperatures of 90 degrees Fahrenheit last approximately 3 years, while identical batteries at 70 degrees Fahrenheit average 6 years, and batteries at 50 degrees Fahrenheit average 10+ years, demonstrating exponential life reduction with increasing temperature exposure. I'd advise that in winter, use engine block heaters if equipped to reduce starting load. Make sure your battery is in good condition before winter hits. Weak batteries fail in cold, not strong ones. The cold doesn't kill them, it just reveals damage that heat caused during summer. Temperature control is free or low cost, but has a massive impact on longevity. But what if your battery is thirsty? Ignoring this simple need can lead to irreversible damage and a premature grave for your car's power source. 5. Check and maintain electrolyte levels monthly. If you have a serviceable battery with removable caps, checking and topping off electrolyte levels is critical maintenance that most drivers completely ignore. Low electrolyte exposes plates to air, causing permanent damage that ruins the battery. The plates must stay submerged in electrolyte solution to function. When levels drop and plates are exposed, those sections permanently lose capacity. You can top off the battery afterward, but the damage is irreversible. A customer brought in a 3-year-old battery that wouldn't hold charge. Checked the cells, and 4 of them were half empty, plates completely exposed and oxidized. Asked when he last checked levels? Never. He didn't even know the caps came off. That battery was destroyed and needed replacement. Battery maintenance research demonstrates that electrolyte levels dropping below plate level causes irreversible sulfation and active material shedding within 30 to 60 days, with exposed plates losing 70 to 90% of capacity permanently, even after refilling with distilled water, while maintained batteries with proper electrolyte levels achieve 8 to 12-year lifespans. Check monthly by removing the caps and looking into each cell. Electrolyte should cover the plates by 1/4 to 1/2 inch. If low, add only distilled water. Never tap water, which contains minerals that damage batteries. Fill to proper level, but don't overfill. This applies to traditional flooded batteries. AGM and maintenance-free batteries are sealed, but if yours has caps, use them. Now, we're getting into the techniques that separate 15-year batteries from 3-year batteries. So what if your daily commute is secretly sabotaging your battery? The way you drive could be draining years off its life. 4. Stop taking short trips exclusively. Short trips under 10 minutes are battery killers because your alternator never runs long enough to replace the energy used during starting. Starting your engine drains significant power, and full recharge takes 15 to 20 minutes of driving at highway speeds. Every short trip creates a net discharge. Do this daily, and your battery slowly drains until one morning it just won't start. And you blame the battery when the real problem is your driving pattern starving it of charging time. A fleet manager couldn't understand why his delivery vehicles needed batteries every 18 months. I looked at their routes. Never more than 5 minutes between stops, 30 to 40 stops per day. The batteries were being started 40 times daily, but never getting proper recharge time. Changed their routing to include longer drives, and battery life doubled immediately. Sound familiar? Your 5-minute commute to work might be the reason you're replacing batteries every 3 years instead of every 10. Your battery needs time to recover what starting consumed. 3. Clean terminals every 3 months. Battery terminal corrosion creates electrical resistance that prevents proper charging and makes starting require more power than necessary. This double attack, inadequate charging plus excessive discharge, accelerates battery death dramatically. Electrical resistance testing shows that corroded battery terminals increase resistance by 50 to 200%, reducing charging efficiency by up to 60% and requiring starter motors to draw 40% more current, with this increased workload reducing battery lifespan by approximately 50% compared to clean terminals. Disconnect the negative terminal first, then positive. Mix baking soda with water into a paste. Scrub the terminals and cable ends with a wire brush until shiny metal shows. Rinse with clean water. Dry completely. Reconnect positive first, then negative. Coat everything with petroleum jelly or terminal protector spray. 10 minutes every 3 months adds years to battery life. Look, I know what you're thinking. My terminals don't look that bad. That white crusty buildup you're ignoring? It's adding 50 to 200% electrical resistance and murdering your battery right now. That's a pretty good return on investment. But clean terminals mean nothing if you're making the next critical mistake. Is your car sitting idle for too long, slowly bleeding its life away? 2. Use a battery maintainer for stored vehicles. If your vehicle sits for more than a week without starting, connect a battery maintainer. These devices keep batteries at perfect charge indefinitely without overcharging, preventing the sulfation that kills batteries during storage. Batteries self-discharge naturally at about 1 to 2% per day, and modern vehicles draw 20 to 80 milliamps continuously for computer memory and security systems. Within 2 weeks of sitting, a battery can drop to dangerously low charge levels. I have vehicles that sit for months at a time with maintainers connected. When I need them, the batteries are fully charged and ready, like I just drove them yesterday. Meanwhile, my neighbor's seasonal car needs a jump start every spring because he doesn't use a maintainer. Connect the maintainer, plug it in, and forget about it. Your battery stays perfect indefinitely. For seasonal vehicles, classic cars, or anything that sits regularly, this one device prevents years of battery life from being wasted. Storage without a maintainer is battery murder. But what's the single most important factor that dictates how long your battery will truly last? Get this wrong, and all other efforts are in vain. 1. Keep it fully charged always. The single most important factor in battery longevity is maintaining full charge at all times. Batteries that spend time in low charge states develop sulfation that permanently reduces capacity and eventually causes failure. Your battery should read 12.6 to 12.8 volts when the engine is off and fully charged. Anything below 12.4 volts means it's not fully charged and sulfation is beginning. Below 12.0 volts is critical. Serious damage is occurring. A customer complained his battery died after just 2 years, tested his charging system, and found his alternator was only putting out 13.2 volts instead of the required 13.8 to 14.4. His battery never fully recharged after starting, spending its entire life in a partial discharge state. That constant sulfation killed it prematurely. Battery sulfation research demonstrates that batteries maintained at 100% charge develop minimal sulfation accumulation, while batteries operating at 100% charge develop minimal sulfation accumulation. 80% charge or below show sulfation rates 300 to 400% higher, with batteries spending more than 20% of time below 80% charge experiencing lifespan reductions of 60 to 70%. Test your battery voltage weekly with a cheap multimeter. If it's dropping below 12.6 volts, either your alternator isn't charging properly or you have a parasitic drain that's slowly discharging the battery between drives. A fully charged battery is a happy battery that lasts decades instead of years. That's the foundation everything else builds on. Keep it charged, and you'll watch it outlast 5 of your neighbor's batteries while they wonder what your secret is. The secret is simple. Batteries don't die from age. They die from neglect. Follow these 15 techniques consistently, and your battery will reward you with 10, 12, even 15 years of reliable service while saving you thousands in unnecessary replacements. I've proven this. My work truck's original battery just turned 11 years old. Friends' trucks needed replacements at 3, 5, and 7 years. Same usage, same climate, different maintenance philosophy. The proof is in the results, and the results are undeniable. If even one of these 15 techniques saves you from a premature battery replacement, hit that like button. Drop a comment with which technique surprised you most. Click the video on the left for more battery secrets that actually work, and subscribe for the maintenance truth that keeps your car running for decades.